I'm Linda Smith with the Retired Party of Two. And of course, this is my sidekick.
Her husband, David Smith, also with the Retired Party of Two, my lovely wife, Linda.
Hey. I'm asking if you would hit that like, share, and subscribe button. We can all stay in tune together. You know, last episode we shared some things, and this week we'll kind of share.
Yeah, I want to kind of talk about how families are different from the way we were raised when we were coming up. It's a big gap,
Absolutely.
Generation gap, and we just kind of want to talk about how when we were raised up, and what's the difference it is today.
So we're going to talk about then and now.
Then and now, I think would be a good topic. Then and now. Then and now. All right. So let's start with, I remember
when
we wanted to go spend the night at somebody else's house.
No, sir.
Yours too?
No, sir. You could spend the night with grandma.
But you couldn't spend the night at anybody's house. And boy, you know what?
No, sir.
I used to ask my mother and my grandmother, and I used to be so upset. I'm like, Mama, why we can't go spend that? She said, I don't care what other folks are doing. We not doing that in this house. You can't. I don't owe you an explanation. So we give children explanations now while we give them an answer or we respond the way we respond. But back then, when we were coming up,
it wasn't a democracy, and you wasn't gonna get a chance to vote. How about that?
And a no meant no. And yay meant yay.
Yay.
And we could not, like you said, the only person that you could really spend the night with or the summer with, like you said, was our grandparents. Now, I couldn't go because my grandparents lived with me. How about, how about you all?
Oh, I could go to grandma's house. My grandparents didn't live with us, but we went to our grandparents for the summer. And we spent most of our summer with the grandparents.
Really?
Yeah. Even our daughter was telling us, she wants to send her kid to us for the summer. And, but this new age generation, no. But way back then, you went to your grandma's house whether you wanted to or not. That was to give your parents a break.
That's
so
right.
that you wouldn't see them on TV. How about that?
Absolutely. You know what? I was sitting back thinking, like I said, we couldn't go spend the night at anybody's house. We had some cousins that lived across the street from us, down the street. We could go there, but we actually couldn't not spend the night. And we used to be so upset. But not only could we not spend the night, but guess what? You couldn't stay out all night.
All night.
And when I say that, from where I'm from, and Acres Home, where I was raised, we didn't have night lights like Acres Home have lights now. So when it got dark, you had to come in the house. And when my mama called my first name, I was okay. She said, David. I didn't hear her.
You let her add that middle name to it.
That middle name and that last name.
Oh, that means you better be at the house.
And you better be in the house.
That's true.
And, no matter if you got mocked at school the next day, David had to come in the house. Man, look here. I know when mama called my name and it was about to get dark, we had to be in the house.
And then guess what? Not you saying being in the house, we had to be home. Now, we had street lights. But when that little buzz came on with the street light?
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
That meant it was starting to come on. So when you heard that first buzz, wherever you was, you start making your way to the house, because by the time that whole light came on, you better be inside of the house, not coming to the house. Like they say, you better not be getting ready, you better be ready.
Better be ready.
So you better not be getting to the house, you better be in the house.
It's amazing how time has changed.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, I remember even prom. Now I'm in the 12th grade. My mama told me I had to be home at 12 o'clock. I'm like, Mom, who comes home at 12 o'clock? I mean, you just be starting a party. She said, I don't care. This was her famous word. I don't care what everybody else is doing.
But as for me and my house.
For me and my house, you got to be in the house at 12 o'clock. Now, everybody else just beginning to party. But you have to be in the house at 12 o'clock. There have been so many times, man, I came home at 11:59 and a half.
Ooh, smoking.
Smoking, man. I be smoking coming through that door. Because, see, back then, we didn't really have a key to the house. See?
Now when that click click,
When that door locked, yeah. So if we stayed out late, we had permission to stay out later.
Right.
So she would unlock the door, or the door would be unlocked for you to come in. But if you came in at 12:01, she'd be right there listening at you. Or if she was in her room, she would call our names.
right.
I thought I told you. Now you got a punishment. Now I can't go out. Now I got to tell the fella, oh man, now I got something to do. But it was all because of disobedience, because I did not obey the rules of the house.
And it's amazing because remember when we told the kids, I would always tell the kids, when the door's locked, you just got to decide which side you want to be on.
Be on.
But as for my house, this is what time we lock the doors.
And
so
we had to say we had some good, because I'm gonna say 90% of the time they came in on time.
they were inside.
Or they got home before time. So
Right.
I thank God for that. They pretty much obeyed, and that's why they had so much grace.
yes.
Because they obeyed.
Right.
But I think nowadays, we need to get back to standards, and we need to mean what we say and say what we mean.
Right.
And because right now, I really appreciate how my mother and grandmother raised me. I thought they were mean when we were growing up. And I thought because we couldn't do certain things, I thought they were just so strict, and everything. But now looking back, and
Right.
looking back at some of my friends, some of my classmates, and some of them that their parents did allow and let them do what they wanted to do, and some of them are gone, or some of them might be in prison. Some of them got on drugs, and because they were just able to do what they wanted to do.
right.
And I'm not gonna say, because I'm not here to judge, but I just remember sometimes their parents were more lenient with them, whether they were two parent or single parent, they were just lenient with them, and they just kind of strayed away. So I thank God for my mother and my grandmother.
Can
being
you
as
remember
strict as
sitting
they
back
were.
thinking, I can't wait until I get grown?
Oh man, I said that.
Oh, I
many
said
days.
that so many times. I
Yeah.
cannot wait until I get grown.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my goodness! But when you get grown and you get your own zip code and you pay
Man,
your
look
own
here.
bills, look, you want to go back from which you came.
Yep. And sometimes even as a young person, you still had to go to mama or daddy to get some to get a loan.
That's right.
And even when I remember when we were coming up, when I first got a job, my mom told me half of your check go to me, and so I would be mad. I'm like, Mama,
Thought that was cruel, didn't you?
I thought, but guess what she would do? Anytime that I ran short, she gave me money. But it was not until I became a young adult. I'm going to say, probably when I got a senior in high school or junior. She said, well, the reason I did that, I wanted to show you responsibility. Nothing's free. Wherever you go, you gotta stay to pay.
Right.
Pay to stay. She said, but your money, I wasn't taking your money. She said, I was just putting it aside because I knew you were going to need it. She said, but what I was trying to teach you was responsibility.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And because sometimes when you just give everything to kids, they have a lack of appreciation.
Lack of appreciation.
And we try to raise our children like that, and I think they could attest to this.
Right.
Is that when they worked, I didn't have boys; I had all girls. So when they worked, they had to bring some of that flow to the house. No, you need to give us something.
Right.
Or when they were at home,
Pay a bill.
And they had to rake the yard. Mm-hmm. They had to cut the yard, right? Wash dishes, all that. Make up your bed. We're not gonna be running behind y'all, cleaning up behind y'all.
Right.
Y'all are old enough to take care, and that's why we taught them. And I think that as parents, we need to make sure that we teach our kids, because one day they're going to be an adult,
Right.
and they're going to need to know these responsibilities.
And then guess what? When they become adults, they have those same habits, and then you just have a messy house. That's it.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're right.
So
You're sure
it's
right
good
about
that. You teach them.
Something else I thought about? Man, my big daddy was named Johnny Norman Sr. And he didn't live that far from where we lived. I'm going to say maybe 5 minutes from us, right? And I remember most of the time he came over was on Sunday evening. Well, Sunday evening was the time that Mama was home, because when she worked, she probably would have to stay 2 or 3 days. She'd come home, and then she might, stay up. But she was always home on the weekends. And I remember when Big Daddy used to come to the house, man, and they were talking, grown folks talk or conversation. Mm-hmm. I don't know about you, but we couldn't sit in the living room.
No, out you go.
And I used to be so mad. I'm like, man, I want to watch TV. And we could be watching a show, a movie, a sitcom, But when Big Daddy came over and him and my mama got to talking, you had to go. And guess what? Mama didn't tell us. He told us.
Right.
So
right.
what he said was law.
Yes.
You know?
Grown folks talking.
Grown folks
folk
talking.
business.
Do y'all remember that?
Yes.
If you remember that, I need y'all to type that in the comments because I need to know how many, what age generation is listening to this podcast because that's what happened to us. Now, so that happened in Virginia too?
Oh yeah, grown folks business. But you already knew. They didn't have to tell you. You knew when they showed up. You had to go. So you went outside to where the children were, so that grown folk could talking grown folk talking, and you stay in your place. But now, the generation that they have now, everybody's talking with everybody, children sitting in, and they even talking in on the conversation.
Yeah, that's true.
Man, back in the day, that happened to you. You would get socked upside your head.
Man,
so
and look here,
get out of here when grown folks is in the building.
And if you move too slow,
they would help you.
They will help you move.
Right.
And and wasn't no calling the police.
Right.
Man, that was abuse. That was abuse back then.
But you know what? And but not just even thinking that you had to go out, but even when they did come, when you were stuck in the house, you were so excited to get outside.
Yeah.
So we played outside. We played kickball. I mean, we ran after each other. I mean, it was just so much energy that we had. We look forward to going outside to get rid of some of that energy.
Right.
Now it's hard to even get kids outside. Now you have to almost just push them outside. Even to burn off some of that energy. Everything they want to do is inside, and they got their head down on their phones, and they even, I even look at my grandson, even when he was younger, if you take a little kid, automatically they know to take one finger, and the first thing they're going to do
swipe.
is start swiping.
That's right.
Start swiping. We didn't even know anything about a swipe. All we want to do was get outside and play in the sun.
The closest thing we got to looking at electronics was the Jetsons, the cartoon Jetsons.
Oh yeah.
That's about the closest thing that you looked at artificial intelligence, with all of these computers and the refrigerator push button, the stove the stove push button, everything. And so now we live in a generation where you have remote control TV, smart TV, smartphone, smart pad, iPad, smart device, a smart thermostat now that you can operate you can turn your alarm on, you can open your garage door, you can unlock your doors from wherever you are in the world.
Yeah, while we were on vacation, I realized I left the air on. I just got on my phone and just turned it off.
That's amazing. So like you say, back then, we didn't have all that technology. It may have been out, but we didn't have accessibility to it.
Right.
And so, but the children that grows up now, they grow up with computers. So they're already tech savvy, if that's what you want to call it, automatically. But like you said, our thing was, we went outside, we played sports, we knew how to ride bicycles, we knew how to swim. Right. Those type of things we knew how to do because we didn't have computers. Right. But now our children are more smart, and now you kind of understand the saying, we used to hear that saying, weaker but wiser. Right. They're much wiser. But boy, you tell them to do something, they lazy, some of them.
Oh yeah. I think we're that last generation that we were right on. We're the remnants, and we're right at the age where we were on the manual side, but then on the tech savvy side at the same time. So we got caught right in the middle.
We did.
Right in the middle of that. And so now this generation if they would actually have to go back and do something manually, I'm not sure if they could even do that or not.
That is so true, man.
Yeah, and that's sometimes that's scary because technology, what happens if technology goes out? Then they have a hard time surviving.
Right. I remember when I was working, that's why we call retired party too, because we're retired.
Right.
But I remember at work, they always had a contingency plan.
Oh,
because
definitely.
if the power went out,
you need to know how to make it.
That's right. You need to have a contingency plan because if that power goes out, that work still goes on.
That's exactly.
You still have to find a way to communicate. You still have to find, if you don't have it on a computer, you have to go to the SOP, they call the Standard Operating Procedure, which was written.
Right.
So you had to go back and read everything and hopefully that it was labeled, correctly so that you can find immediately what you wanted. But like you say, we live in a time now, man, if these phones go out, because right now, if I forget my phone,
you're going to turn around and go back and get it.
Can't remember a number. I remember your number.
Isn't that sad?
No, that's good. I can remember your number.
Yeah, but what if I'm unavailable?
Your number's in my heart.
Stop it. Stop it.
You remember mine?
I remember your number. I even remember your number when we first met.
Absolutely. Well,
Yes.
I can't remember your number when we first met.
You should.
But I remember it now. That's all that matters.
Okay, but
So
moving
anyway,
right along.
moving right along. So technology is something that that we've depended on, and we depended on it so much.
Mm-hmm.
Man, look, you don't have it, you'll forget it. But last thing I want to talk about is I remember you used to couldn't. Now we give our children options.
Mm-hmm.
If they want to go or if they don't want to go. I remember, look here, parents took you with them.
Oh, yeah. When we got ready to go, go ahead and get yourself ready because you're going too.
When you went to church, whether you wanted to, didn't want to, didn't
Wasn't
feel
an
like getting
option.
up, it was not an option. They took you to church. They
Not an
took
option.
you, yeah. So I think families back then versus now, then and now, there's a big gap, big generation gap. People think different.
Mm-hmm.
Having relationships, having family, having children, raising their children different.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think that to each his own.
You know, what I was thinking then is like when our kids grew up, even how you would have them out in the yard, cutting the yard or raking the yard or whatever,
Right.
Now kids say, when is the yard man coming? The yard man? Yeah, you are the yard man.
If we allow them to be the yard people,
That's right.
But it would also teach them
Responsibility.
because I could say our girls did know how to cut, how to rake, how to do gardening. Whether we didn't have a garden, but they knew how to help take care of outside activities if need be. So
Right.
So again, we just kind of wanted to talk about a few of these things then and now, and we just want to kind of reminisce a little bit. So again, before we finish, I want y'all to look at. You need this book in your house. You need this book in your hand. It's called Family Matters. Our wife and I were able to write this book during the pandemic, and it is called Family Matters. There's so much information in here as it relates to family, as it relates to how God created the family. The different types of family, the different roles of the family, or the members of the family. And I think you need to make sure that this book is in your hand. You can purchase it through Gumroad, The Smith. Again, that is GUMROADS.com, The Smith. You can order that book. This book is only $20, and it is worth $20. You need to have this book in your hand. It will be a blessing to you. Or you can get it on Cash App, $20. Again, at $, The Smith Family Matters. Or you can order it through Amazon, or you can order through Amazon Kindle, and it's also in Barnes & Noble.
Absolutely.
So, again, a book that will really bless you. It will enhance you. It will give you something to think about. Again, Family Matters. Get this book in your hand. It will truly be a blessing to you. And again, as my wife opened up and said, don't forget to do what?
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Family Matters of Two.
All right. So God bless you. God keep you. And this is signing off the retired party of
Two.